for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. How you doing? How you doing? Today's Thursday, October 18th. October 18th, 2018. 294 days into the new year, just 71 days left. As always, we are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planets. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking? How you doing? Tonight is another Fader night. That's right, it's Thursday night, best night of the week. I am in the chair. It is open lines all night long. Write the numbers down. They are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. Oh, man. It's going to be great. I love Thursday nights. And especially after a week like we've had here on the show. Monday night, we had Anomaly here. Great, smart, sharp. I almost said young man. I almost said kid. Well, compared to me, he would be. Just an amazing conversation, and that was Monday. Tuesday night, Leo Zagami, who brought it. Incredible conversation with Leo, live from Rome, Italy, and I still can't get the alchemical door out of my. It's burned in my retinas. What a crazy! How would you like to have that in your town, right? Those statues there, but incredible. Just an incredible conversation with Leo. In his book, The Invisible Masters. And then, of course, last night, which the A.R. Borden Roundtable with Michael Lee Hill and everybody that came on the show last night, Charlotte and PJ and Clay and Joshua. Joshua was Karen. And they're all getting, a bunch of them will be at the Stargate Conference next week in Albuquerque. And that's... Wow, and that's going down next week in Albuquerque. We can't go. I'm just going to let everybody know we looked into it really hard and making arrangements and stuff. We actually have some family stuff that celebrations that we have going on next weekend that are clearly on the books That part is not going to happen. We need to hang out here. So everybody have a good time at the Stargate Conference at the Ramada Inn in downtown Albuquerque. Okay, so that show last night was incredible. It was incredible, and which takes us to tonight. After everything that went down this week, and I know that I was talking a lot, and I'll mention this in a little bit, about the community too as well, and unity in the community. And I don't want to ever lose sight of that. But we'll be talking about that tonight. I'm sure that's what everybody is got on their minds, plus everything that we did on the show this week. So that's it. It's open lines all night long. Have you seen anything strange in the skies? You know, anything strange in your house with your pets, all that stuff. Let's have a good time tonight on the phones. Okay, now let's just jump ahead and get everything out of the way. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Of course, you can hang out with us over at OnStellar, onstellar.com, Facebook, YouTube, and for those of you out there right now that are joining us via YouTube, hello. We have 2 chat rooms. We have Spreaker and we have KGRA. And, of course, we have Twitter at JChurchRadio. And hashtag F2B is the sandbox. That's where all of the action goes down in those conversations. And any questions or comments for me, it is hashtag F2BQ. Okay. All right. There you go. Email is Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. And, you know, tonight, what a busy week we've had here on the show, and putting together not only the shows that we did this week, but a show like last night and the logistics and everything. And we get to a Thursday, which for me is the highlight of the week, because I get to hang out with everybody here and just kind of relax and open up the phones and talk on the phones all night. It's you know, what we do. But I've also, this is our Friday, which is taking us into this weekend, and I've got so much stuff that I've got to do over at our house. We had these windstorms, and I've got to go and do all of that housework stuff, yard work. I got to take care of all of that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's show, okay? And dinner tonight. That's actually what I was thinking about, and I'm trying to avoid what was discussed right before the show, which is for dinner tonight, because it's going to be good. All right, you know, I think I've earned it. Been on this diet with a fast start diet, and I've lost all of this weight. Yes, I have. One of the things that I don't talk about on this show, by the way, is smoking. Well, I quit smoking 3 months ago. Yep. That's another thing. Oh, man. Yeah. So there's that too as well. And so with the fast start diet, losing all that weight, and I feel great, and color in my face, and the dark circles, as you can notice, it's really weird. And so last night during the show, this is why I'm bringing this up, with everything, all these monster changes that we have done, changes to diet and changes to sleep and our habits and things. Well, I did. I quit smoking. And if you've hung out with me in public, because I don't smoke on the air and I don't smoke on camera, and I don't, I try not to. But if you've seen me in public, you can find me somewhere sneaking out and sneaking around the corner and smoking. Not anymore. No. And I went down to the Dimensions conference last week or the week before. Was it last weekend? The week before? 2 weeks ago? Out there in the patio, man, with everybody else. All those smokers. And I wasn't smoking. So there's all of these monster changes. So tonight, after the show, with the diet and everything, I was like, man, Rita, you know what I want for dinner tonight? And I told her, she kind of looked at me like, really? But yeah, Yeah. So there you go. I don't want to say what it is. It's nothing. It's not. I want Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, damn it. That's what I want after dinner tonight. I mean, after the show. I want Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. And I told her, I said, with Swiss cheese. I want Swiss cheese. I want the peppers and I want the onions and I just and the long bread. Oh man. Oh. But I've earned it. It's been months. Yeah. Eddie and PA just said, let me guess, it's dinner is steaks and ribs on the grill. I would do that, except for you're talking about grilling at 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. And we've done that in the past, though. We have. But no, we've got things to do first thing in the morning. So, but yeah, I just want Philly cheesesteaks. I want Philly cheesesteaks. Okay. All right. Where am I? I feel cleansed. I admitted it. I admitted Philly cheesesteaks. All right. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get this. Let's get this show cracking. All right. Don't forget to become a FADERNIGHT. You can do that over at our membership section on the site. Oh, look at John. I can't even believe he did that. You know what John did to me one night? Him and his family. We were sitting out. We're in the dark. And John's got this, I don't even know what to call it. It's a land yacht. It's this big RV, big motorhome. Nice one. And we're sitting out in the dark, and I'm like, man, I'm hungry. I want some munchies. And they went and snuck over to their motorhome and brought me back this giant pastrami sandwich. And they brought me something else. I forget what it was. It was like barbecue potato chips. John, help me out here. What was it? It was like, they brought me, I'm not kidding either. It was like a Coke, a pastrami sandwich, and a bag of potato chips. And I'm sitting in this lounge chair, staring at the stars, munching, and I got potato chips. You're eating in the dark, right? So you got potato chips all over your chest and crumbs. And I'm totally noshing this pastrami sandwich. And an ice cold Coke in the dark, man. Oh, it was awesome. I make the best cheesesteaks around these parts. Come and try. That's from Sweet Nellie. Where do you live, Nellie? Where are these parts? Is it Burbank? Because if it's Burbank, we can make that arrangement. But yeah. Oh, John said it was Doritos. That's right. That I broke all the rules. It was a pastrami, Doritos, and a Coke. Oh, I love you guys. You guys are the best. All right, become a FADERNIGHT. Join us over in our membership section on the site, and you can get everything that you want. You get a private email to me, and you get commercial-free downloadable archives and autographed shirts and hats and all that fun stuff. Whatever you want to do, you can choose your poison right there. Become a FADERNIGHT today. Also, we have our podcast. It is just $2 a month. And there you go. It's just $2 per month. We have over 900 archive shows right there. All of the apps that you need. And it helps support the show. Okay? All right. Let's get the show cracking. All of our sponsors, by the way, last night, we had Ronnie McMullen on the show. And Ronnie, I wanted to take the time to mention tonight, because I talked to Ronnie today. And yes, one of the things that I do every day is CBD. And it's one of the things that have caused these changes in my metabolism and what I do and so forth. But so today I went over. I needed some stuff. I needed some supplies, and I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm looking at the website, and we're just having a great conversation. And I just want to say this. Everybody here that is listening to me, go over to Life Change Tea right now. Go to Life Change Tea. Take the time to do it, and click on their specials page and go over there. Everything that you would need from them and all of the stuff that I recommend on this show is one way or another on that specials page, and go in order. And being a FADERNIGHT with the promo code FADER, FADER, you can go over to the specials page with all of the great deals that they have there. You can pick out an amazing deal, and you're going to get free shipping. So go and do it. Look, this is my studio right here. Look at this. That's what I do every day. Right there. That's Life Change Tea right there. Drops. Right? Pine bark right there. Take it every day. Olive leaf extract. Take it every day. Liquid vitamin C. Take it every day. Moringa. Take it every day. What else is here? Oh, these are my backup bottles that I just got in the mail. Some more moringa and some more pine bark. And I do this every day, combine this with CBD. It's what I do. You need to go over there. All right? Go to lifechangetea.com, promo code FADER, FADER. And visit all of our sponsors when you're over at jimmychurchradio.com. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today. Jean-Claude Van Damme is 58. I can't believe it. He's got that new show out, which is great, by the way. Jean-Claude, what's it called? Jean-Claude Van Smith? Jean-Claude Van Jones? Man, what's it called? I can't remember. It's great. I just finished it. I binged it. It's amazing. But I thought, I didn't know until today, I thought that Jean-Claude was about 70. I did. Because he looks 70 in this show. He's tanned and wrinkled, and he just looks 70 to me. And, he looked pretty good when he took his shirt off. I was like, okay, all right. But his face and thing and the way he was talking about his age, and he couldn't do the splits anymore. But anyway, the show's great. But I found out today he's 58. Jean-Claude Van Damme is only 3 years older than me, and he looks like that. I don't look like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Anyway, Jean-Claude Van Damme is 58 years old. Our dead guy's birthday today. Moment of silence, please. Chuck Berry. Jean-Claude Van Johnson. That's it. Jean-Claude Van Johnson. It's a good show, too, man. Jean-Claude Van Damme is your age. Yeah, he's 58. He's 58. So, anyway, Chuck Berry, 1926, 2017, cranked it all the way to 90 years old. Now, think about this. Maybelline was 1955. Rollover Beethoven, 1956. Rock and Roll Music, 1957, and Johnny Be Good in 1958. In 3 years, those four songs, well, and a whole list of others, of course. But when you think about the significance of Maybelline, Rollover Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, and Johnny Be Good, in 3 short years, Chuck Berry invented rock and roll guitar, and with it, the guitar solo. That is all. Seriously. My ding-a-ling. I knew it. I knew, Stacy, I knew that somebody was going to tweet my ding-a-ling, and I knew it was going to be Stacy. I knew it. Stacy, you're all right. When I was a kid, when my ding-a-ling was a hit, and I was singing that song, and I remember I was like in the 4th grade, and I came into class, and my teacher, I'm trying to think of her name in 4th grade, Mrs. Lafferty. And I came in singing My Ding-a-Ling, and she shot me this look. She goes, do you know what that song is about? I'm like, huh? What? You can't sing it. I was like, all right, yeah. But I know now. It's a great song. Anyway, yeah. He invented the guitar solo. You need to guitar solo. I had so much trouble learning Johnny Be Good, and there were so many different versions of it out there from different guitar players that did Johnny Be Good and good versions of it. I had a hard time learning that solo. It's not easy. It's really not. Anyway, happy birthday, Chuck, and I hope you're up there listening to us right now. On this day in history, OTD 1867. It's kind of a strange day in history, and let me tell you why. On this day in 1867, the United States took possession of Alaska after buying it from Russia for $7.2 million. Right? And at the time, and it gets stranger, at the time, 7.2 million, right? Bought like half of the world for $7 million, right? Think about how big Alaska is. And there were people here in the United States that thought we got ripped off. And then 20 years later, we struck gold. And now, of course, we look back and Russia's, wishes they had a time machine to take it all back. Not only from the gold, but think about that right now, Russia would be all the way up against Canada. Right? Think about that. With everything that is going on, it'd be a different world today. But instead, 1867, they sold it to us for $7 million. There you go. But then, nearly 30 years later, 29 years later, on this day, the very same day, the United States takes control of Puerto Rico. Yeah, what is it with October 18th? Think about that. All right. Fader fact. I got a Tesla. I got a Nikola Tesla Fader fact today. That's right. Are you ready? There is a Nikola Tesla statue in Palo Alto, California, that provides free Wi-Fi. And that is your Fader fact. All right, tonight it is open lines all night long. Call in numbers 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. Let me hit this coffee. River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Okay, Jean-Claude Van Damme is 58. Yes, he is. You guys are as shocked as I am. Look at all the JCVD Jean-Claude Van Damme tweets here. You guys are fans just like I am. I've been in Alaska 38 years, best state in the USA. I bet, you know what? I'm with you on that one. I bet you Alaska is pretty dang cool. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. All this week, I have been ranting and raving about unity in the community. And I kept names out of it. I still am. I'll leave that up to you. But I kept names out of it. And in a general sense, I am promoting one thing and one thing only, and I've always done that, which is this show, what I do, everything is community first. That is my vision. That's it. So when I consider something here, when I consider a guest, when I consider a question, when I consider an argument, when I'm out with friends and we're debating, you should do this, we should do this. Not only this show, I'm talking about somebody wants to do their own podcast. Somebody out there is making a documentary. Somebody out there is wanting to write a book. Somebody out there is, and these things come up in conversation. My response always, no matter what it is it good for the community? Is it good for the community? If it's about ego, if it's about yourself, it's about that, then it's not about the community. Is it good for the community? Community first. Which, when I posted the stuff that I did this weekend on Stellar, and I've been speaking about the things that I've been speaking about, is it good for the community? Is what I am even saying at that moment, is it good for the community? There are some out there that heard and read what I had to say throughout the week and didn't know what I was talking about. How cool is that? Somebody that just doesn't care, right? They're not into the drop. They're not into what's getting posted over on Facebook. They're not concerned with what is going on. They're not, we're not watching people's Twitter feeds, and they're not getting involved, and they're not watching somebody's YouTube videos out there somewhere. And they honestly don't know what I was talking about. Okay? And I got some emails. And in some of those emails, which were screen captures of different conversations going on out there, different parts of the internet, that actually said, I'm a little confused. I don't know what Jimmy is talking about. What's he on about? Right? And how great is that you could be that clean, that pure. Tonight on this show, I know that some of you are going to call in. I don't care if all of you do, that want to ask me about or discuss trademarks in the UFO community by different people and things in the community with trademarks. Fine. I know that some of you are going to talk about choosing sides. Fine. I totally understand that. There are, when I said the other day, there is a group of friends here that has disintegrated and has broken up and broken apart. And it's a very public divorce, and it's very unfortunate because that group, and it's difficult for me because I can't even say everybody's names. I just think it's just not right because this community had looked at that group as being so solid and bulletproof. And there was jealousy about that. There were people out there that were, man, these guys, and this and that, and that were jealous. And then there's the other part that it made the community strong because they had their supporters there, and they're looking up and they're going, man, these guys are just rock solid, man. And this is going to be the team that is guiding us forever, right? And it fell apart. And we're looking at now so many different versions of who, what, why, and where, and everything else with this. But it comes back, for me, it comes back to the community. It is about community first. So is this breakup the best thing for the community? Is this one big giant ego fest? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think there is a catalyst there. I think there is something that has caused it. I'm talking about an individual. And I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I have the feeling, I'm serious when I say that. I don't know. But it's going to come out. And when it does come out, we are all just we're going to be shocked. And when it comes out, careers are going to be ruined. Reputations will be done. And there you go. But, and this is my thing, and it's always about the community, so listen to me. But, in the end, as time passes, as crazy as it is going to, and it's going to hurt some, it's going to sting, that we're going to move on. And I can assure you, that a year from now, we're going to look back at this period and have a hard time remembering it. And it's going to be in the past like everything else. It's going to be forgotten about. There is, and I need to take a break. When I come back after the break, we're going to go to open lines right away. And I'm going to say this. I cannot overestimate with all of you the impact of one William Bill Moore on this community. Bill Moore was the the guy, the author, the researcher, the tippity-toppity top of the top of this community. And he's gone. And he left in shame. But this show happened. Coast to Coast continued. Ancient Aliens, right? Everything just moved forward. And today, you don't even know his name. So it's going to be all right. It's Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back after this short break with your phone calls. It is FADERNIGHT on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to FastStartDiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to FastStartDiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader Night. Open lines all night long. It's that simple. Whatever you want to talk about. I've certainly put all the subjects on the table. Monday night, we had Anomaly here talking about the conspiracy and pop culture and what is going on with the news and social media and blockage and censorship and the next generation and how they use social media to communicate with. An incredible show. And, of course, Tuesday night was Leo Zagami live from Rome, Italy, and his new book, the Hidden Powers that is controlling nearly every aspect of our lives. And we're talking about the ET extraterrestrial question and their influence on all of the powers on this planet, from state actors to religion to the secret societies around this planet. There was that. And then, of course, last night, the A.R. Borden Meta Group joined us on the show last night. It was an incredible conversation with Michael Lee Hill. And that show last night is, for me, going to remain singular. It was just an amazing show. And it was the individuals that were on the show. And I look forward to having each one of them on Fade to Black for a full show in the weeks and months ahead. It was an incredible, incredible show last night. So we have all of that, and then we have this upheaval that is going on in our community out there, and once again, you know, we're visiting this. Now, before I get to the phone calls, and everybody that is there right now, just stay right there, okay? I'll get to you in a second. Right before the break, when we're talking about this community being turned upside down and how crazy it may be right now. And the specifics, because everybody that is involved with this has been a guest on Fade to Black many, many times, also over on Coast to Coast AM. And not only leaders in this community from every aspect, from books and a web presence, and of course TV shows and everything else, that very, very visible personalities here. Okay, now it may seem huge, right? But I mentioned Bill Moore, William Bill Moore. Bill Moore is who brought us Roswell. Listen to what I am saying to you. Okay? That is how important Bill Moore was, not only with the books, because that's one of the things that he did, but a speaker on the circuit, the MJ-12 documents, okay? The connections to not only insiders and producing documents and bringing forward this, but seemed to be a directly connected guy that had information and was bringing all of that forward. And this community was just, whoa, right in a row. Bill Moore, bam, bam, the biggest stuff, the stuff that we still talk about today. Roswell, New Mexico has a frigging parade every July 4th with aliens marching down Main Street there in Roswell because of Bill Moore. Okay? Bill Moore then had to leave this community. We had Doty, right? Richard Doty, and others that were connected to Bill Moore, and it turned out that he was, whether he was an informer, whether he was an instrument of the Air Force and possibly the CIA and everything else, Bill Moore turned around, left this community during the MUFON Symposium, gave a speech on stage, said, hey, I've been lying. and walked. Hasn't been seen since. This community was left in shock. They could not believe what had just happened. And you know what? This is what is crazy. As big of a moment as that was, everything continued. And today, there are researchers out there. There's a younger generation that has come up that is doing really well and making waves and stirring the pot and getting things happening around here that don't even know who Bill Moore is. He's now been delegated to a footnote of history. And that is crazy to me. Those books still exist. His research still exists. MJ12 is talked about every single week on this show and other shows. Roswell. And other things, too, as well. It wasn't just that with Bill Moore. It was just really big stuff. But there you go. So when I say that what is going on right now, somebody is going to be embarrassed just like Bill Moore. Somebody's career is going to end and disintegrate. I guarantee it. And it's going to be sad. And it's going to freak people out. Some people are going to be crushed, just like what happened with Bill Moore. But everything is going to work out just fine. Okay? All right. And before I get to the phones, I'm about to hit a button right here and bring in my first call. If you don't know who Bill Moore is, if you don't know, go look up William Bill Moore and jump down that rabbit hole for the next 24 hours. All right? All right, let's go to the phones. Area code 587. You are up first on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Carola. I'm calling from Calgary.
Hi, Carolyn, calling from Calgary. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm really good, Jimmy. I'm so happy. I'm here with Terry, and we had to celebrate Freed the Weed in Canada.
You guys are puffing now. So now it's a puff, puff, pass, I don't care, right? Is that what's going on up there?
Yeah, and now I'm not a criminal.
I know. You know, one of the
free.
Yes, you are. And you know what? One of the best feelings, one of the best, is driving around in your car with weed. Just
I know.
You know what? Just throw it on the front seat and just drive.
Geez, yeah.
Just drive. Just drive. Wave at the police. Just wave.
I did.
That's incredible. Good for you guys. And now, is this C to C, border to border, every province, everywhere? Weed is now legal.
Apparently, yes.
God, that is just crazy. You guys, man. Well, you know what? Do a bong hit for me, and good for you guys, man. That is just totally cool. And you know what? See, this. Yeah, Terry sounds like he's been a puff give all day. Listen,
he has been.
Yeah, this is the other thing, though, and you guys already had the best weed. You guys were already growing the best weed, right? And now it's so there you go. You didn't have to you didn't have to make it legal, then figure out how to grow it. You guys did it backwards, which is the cool part.
Now we can all grow our own weed in our own homes.
I've got four big plants already.
Yeah, see? And you don't care. You just don't care.
No, I don't.
All right, Carol, congratulations. What's on your mind tonight besides weed?
Well, I was just going to say that I hope that you guys, like I know in California, you can run around with weed, can't you?
Yeah, it's all legal here now. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I think if the whole world goes that way, there won't be any wars. Everything's good. People have medicine, food, paper, gas, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I think is fun, but it just affects me so strong, is I like edibles. I like, the gummy bears and things like that. But, man.
Oh, me too. I've been cooking with weed for all summer.
You got to be careful, though. You got to be careful. That stuff, it hangs out in your body, man. It just, woof. But anyway, that's just me.
We don't say cooking with oil anymore. Now we say cooking with weed.
All right, Terry, Carol, thank you guys for checking in and go and celebrate. And we're so happy for all of you guys up there.
Have a good one, Jimmy.
Yeah, you
Thank
too,
you,
Terry.
and you guys come up here for a smoking tour anytime.
Yeah, I'll talk to you. You guys have fun.
Okay.
Have fun. Congratulations to Canada. That's actually a very, very, very big deal. And there you go. So happy for you guys up there. Let's go to area code 408. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Deb from Sacramento. How are you?
I'm doing good. Deb, how are you? It's Thursday night.
It's Thursday night, and it sounds like it's Philly cheesesteak night, so you need to have a big slab of cheesecake for dessert to go with it.
Yeah, just might do that. I just might do that.
Sounds fabulous.
What's on your mind?
Well, I'm one of those oblivious people that you were talking about, disruption in the community, and I'm like, what's he? Huh? And
well, good.
So
good.
Yeah,
good.
And so I'm glad to be unjaded by it, but boy, have you got my curiosity going. And I can say the first thing that comes to mind is the trifecta that used to be over at Gaia, that's no longer a trifecta. And, am I allowed to say the names, or would you rather I not?
That's up to you. That's up to you.
Okay, well, Wilcock, Corey Good, and Emery. And if one of them it sounds like you're implying that the apple cart's about to turn over and one of them's about to be exposed for a fraud, is what it sounds like you're implying. Okay.
No. But that's okay. That's okay. I would never go there. That is never the place or the what the show is about. So, but I would say that just continue listening tonight, and we'll see if it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter to me. It's all about the community, and if the community isn't concerned about it or whatever, then so be it. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, on another topic that's much more important, the very day that you posted on OnStellar, you put, finally, Hunt for the Skinwalker is here. So that very night, I rented the video and watched it because I had been waiting for that also.
Uh-huh.
And I have to say, I didn't really, kind of like I think it was last week, someone called in and commented, and they said there wasn't really anything new. I do think it was made with the intention that maybe it was for newbies. Mm-hmm. I didn't see any new footage, any new information. It just seemed like a rehashing of all the old stuff. So I was really disappointed. But the one thing that did intrigue me is between the time it was released and now, you guys had a conversation one night about the new owner possibly being Tony Robbins. And so I went back and rewatched it and listened very carefully to the dub voice, and it does sound like him.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet. Can you believe it? I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I haven't seen it. So I don't have any comments.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to know. I would like to know if it's Tony Robbins. I have seen Tony Robbins face to face. I've talked to him. I'm not going to get into the details. It's not as exciting as one would think with that, but I've got a pretty good judge on a few things about him. So I'll see. I'll watch it and see if I can figure out if it's him or not. But I haven't seen it. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
I haven't seen it.
The voice after you, Jimmy.
I haven't seen it, so I don't really have any comments about the movie. So I haven't seen it yet. The one thing that I do find curious is this Tony Robbins part. I could be wrong about Tony, but I don't think he would. It'd be funny if it was him after I'm about to say what I'm about to say. I don't see him with a fascination of a place like Skinwalker. It just, with him and what he's about, it doesn't, I don't know. And wouldn't it be funny if it was him and that he does have this secret affinity for all things unexplained and he went up and bought Skinwalker? Could be, but I don't know. I don't see it. I don't. I could be way off here, but you never know.
Well, to a certain degree, I agree with you because I used to do his tapes and follow his stuff, all his self-help stuff years ago, and it's very beneficial. So for the kind of teacher and speaker he is, it would be very surprising to me as well.
Yeah.
I didn't have that impression either, but everyone has their little secrets that they don't talk about in public because maybe he was afraid it would hurt his business or his credibility, who knows. But the physical stature of the man on the video looks like him too, even though they're not showing his face. So I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to research that after you guys had brought it up.
He's a big boy, just so you know.
For sure.
He's a big boy. He's tall. His shoulders are 5 feet wide. He's a big dude. All right, Deb, thank you so much. And, I'll find the time to watch Skinwalker this week, and I'll have a comment about it next week. All right?
Have a wonderful weekend, Jimmy, and get that yard work done.
And thank you so much, Deb. Be safe.
All right. You too. Take care, dear.
Thank you. And, this whole Tony Robbins part, I guess we're going to find out. And you can't keep that stuff secret for too long. Let's go to area code 860. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Mary.
Hi, Mary. How are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mystic, Connecticut.
Mystic, Connecticut. Mystic Pizza, Connecticut, right?
Yep, that's where it was filmed.
Have you been there?
Right down the road from where I live.
Yeah, have you been there? I've been there. I've been to Mystic Pizza.
Well, yeah, I've been to. There's 2 locations. There's one in North Stonington and there's one in Mystic over the drawbridge.
Yeah, over by the bridge. And now when I went there probably like a year after. Let me tell you how I did it. I'll make this really quick. We're driving up the highway, the freeway, up the coast, and then I see the sign, right, Mystic. And I turned to my friend that was driving. I was in the passenger seat. I said, dude, Mystic Pizza? And he goes, yeah. I said, dude, exit. Right? And we went to Mystic Pizza. Literally went in. I couldn't believe
it. Oh, so good. Yeah. What did you have? Did you have what did you have for pizza?
I'm going to tell you right now, I think this was 1997, right? 1996, 1997. That was 21 years ago. But I'm going to say, if my memory is right, I think we did pepperoni, mushroom, and onion. That's what we did, and a Coke. Good. And sat right there, though. It was pretty trippy to visit Mystic Pizza. Okay, so what's on your mind tonight, Mary?
How you doing, Jimmy? I'm glad to know you and to hear you and Art Bell and whatever. I mean, it's really cool that you guys conversed whatever at one time or more times than others. But you know what's cool? That Rob Halford. I'm sorry, but I love Judas Priest. I'm a metalhead.
Right.
I am.
Right.
Everybody knows me in the chat room in Spreaker. And I'm like, you know what? This is so cool to talk to you. But you know what? I'm so glad that you're doing these and whatnot of UFOs and stuff. I had an encounter in 97. And I did go on third phase of the moon, and I did, tell them what happened and whatnot. At that time, they didn't have, cell phones and whatnot. You had to have a camera. And this was in Fort Anne, New York, in 1997. Well, 98, 97, 98. Well, I don't know. It was one of the two. I'm not kidding you. I swear to God. There was, this hovering craft way off in the woods. I was living in a it's like a motel.
So what happened, Mary?
Efficiencies or something?
Yeah, Mary. I don't want to run out of time. We're going to be against a break, so we've got 3 minutes. What happened? What did you see?
There was like lights looping in and out around the craft that was hovering way off in the woods, way off in the distance in Fort Anne, New York. And I woke my boyfriend up at the time, and I said, check it out. And he was like, oh, that's just a UFO. And he's like, well, shut the doors. And I was like, why shut the doors? Like, we're going to come through the fucking walls anyways. And I never knew that at that time.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. I've told people in Spreaker about this, you know? So.
And see,
anyway,
but
Jimmy, listen,
yes.
I love your guitars, and I love the you know, everything about your studio is so cool. It's in Burbank, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm in the East Coast, so that's cool to me. But anyways, listen, you have a good night, all right?
Yeah, you too, Mary, and you're absolutely right. Rob Halford, Judas Priest, heavy metal, UFOs, music. That's what this show was about. And I knew that I would connect with others out there that think like I do and appreciate the same things about life that I do, and we would all be able to get together. And where else can you go, Mary? Think about this. You just said in one sentence, Art Bell, Rob Halford, Judas Priest, and UFOs. Where else can you do that? How great is life?
You can't do it any place.
How great is life? How great is life, Mary? Life is amazing, isn't it?
It is great, and it is. And you know what?
And we mentioned,
guys, and I'm sorry that sometimes I seem a little bit fucking dark, but that's who I am.
Yeah, but you got to watch the language on the show. But you also got pizza in, so we got it all. We got it all on this show. Thank you so much, Mary. Behave and be well.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also with Rob Halford, I was reading Timothy Good's book, Above Top Secret. And I was in L.A., and I'm reading this thing, and boom, and it was Paradise Valley, Cave Creek, UFO, 1950-something, and it crashed, and they had a crash retrieval, and the Army and the Air Force came out and put this saucer on the back of a flatbed and took it out, and then ended up taking the dirt, and the street names were there, right? And so I read about that. Now it's a couple of days later. I'm at Rob's house in Phoenix, and I go, Rob, I got to show you this the UFO, man, right here in Paradise Valley. He goes, what are you talking about? And I said, yeah. So he reads this. He goes, man, I know where this is. I said, really? Let's go. So we jumped in the car and drove up Scottsdale Road around the corner from Rob's house. It wasn't far. It's just a few miles away. And drove to where this was. So Rob was all into it. The second I brought up UFOs and aliens and ETs in his backyard, he was like, let's go. One day I got to figure out how to chase down Rob and get him on the show and tell that story, because it really happened. So there you go, right? We're able to talk about UFOs, heavy metal, guitars, pizza, and even a little Art Bell all at one time on this show. It's Thursday night. It is Fader night. Open lines all night long. More of your phone calls are next right after this short break. The phone numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, and this is Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. but you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official FADERNIGHT by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. The coffee went down the wrong pipe. It's all good. Don't even worry about it. Nice T-shirt, Jimmy. Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? The evolution of man. Ended up playing guitar down here in the end. That's what that is all about. Somebody just tweeted, what about April Wine? Man, I loved April Wine. She's a roller. I had, I wore that album out, man. April Wine Live. Oof, forget what it was called, but it was really good. Let's get back to the phones. Numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. And who's going to be up next? Let's go. I think it's area code 805. You're up next. Who's calling?
Mr. Church. Eric, the Awakening Man.
How are you? A.M. Eric A.M. How are you, man? What's going on?
Yeah, a good night. We got the Fade to Black, and then we also got the Lakers on right now.
Oh, how are the Lakers doing this season? Hey, what happened with the Dodgers? Did they make it into the World Series?
Are you serious?
I don't know.
It's the playoffs. It's 2-2, and they're playing tonight. So it's as you know, it's the best of four. So they haven't made it to the World Series yet, but they're still in the game. They're still in the playoffs.
It's 2-2, and they're playing Milwaukee, right? Man, I'm so out of it.
Yeah.
I'm so out of it when it comes to sports. I just don't pay attention anymore. I don't even watch. The last time ESPN was on in my home, 6 years. Rita's so happy. Rita's so happy, man. It was, when we were doing, it was sports 24/7, and she cared nothing about it. Well, she loves the Lakers. All right, she loves the Lakers. There's no question about that. But no.
Yeah. So the Lakers they're opening up in Portland, opening night tonight, and they're already up 25-15, and it's only 6 minutes past in the first quarter. They're running up and down the floor, and LeBron James already has 4 dunks.
So
it's awesome. Showtime's back.
So LeBron James, he's on the Lakers now?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just messing with you.
Rajon Rondo, the guy that used to win championships for the Celtics, and they got some good talent, and the young kids are good. They're going to surprise some teams this year.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. We'll see if another championship can come back to L.A. I would like to see it. That was a pretty dark period for the Lakers the last few years. It was unbelievably bad. So, where LeBron goes, championships tend to follow. So, we'll see. We'll see. So what's on your mind tonight?
Okay, so I want to comment about what you brought up, and I want to read off a few names to you, and if I left anybody off, let me know, just because this is what came to my mind. So as far as the secret space program, I'm going to call them the secret space dudes, just for the hell of it. So in my research, Kramer came out first, and then not too long after that, Good came out, and then there was this guy Og Tellis that came out that's not really out there doing interviews much, but he's out there. Then there was Gonzalez and Rodriguez, and then we interviewed this guy named Hendricks a few weeks ago that claims to be a secret space guy, and then you had Rice on. So am I leaving anybody off that you could think of that's had these claims? Whether they're true or not, I don't know, but they're saying they're secret space dudes.
Well, that's all new stuff. Right. The secret space program and the discussion of that, Eric, has been going on for, I'm trying to think of the book that I read back in like 1995 that it was specifically about the secret space program. So, this has been going on for a very, very long time. So it's Dolan wrote about it way before anybody that you just mentioned too as well. So, it's been going on for a while.
Well, but the point I'm making is these are what we call whistleblowers, I guess. So I don't know of anybody before Randy Kramer, for example, or Corey Good were the first two guys. Prior to them, I don't know anybody that came out and said, I was in the secret space program, I was involved in a 20 and back program, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, was there somebody before those guys?
Well, but you're leaving out, when you bring up stuff like this, you're leaving out, what about Andrew Bishago?
Okay, there you go. I forgot about that.
See, we can go on and on. And when you get into projects like this and these types of conversations and secret space programs and Werner von Braun and Operation Paperclip and these Montauk and German scientists, and this conversation is decades old. So you need to. I agree. Everything that you just mentioned, Captain Randy Kramer and stuff. This is all the newer generation of things. But I totally agree with you. But okay, so what's your point with that, though?
So my point is this: is that whether they all are telling the truth, or some of them are telling the truth, or some of them are lying. That's not my point here. My point is this: is that if any one of those people decided that they wanted to go and trademark the letters SSP or 20 and back or whatever, and they had the foresight and the desire to do so, technically, legally, they have the right to do that. That doesn't mean that if Mr. Good chooses to do this, and then that doesn't mean that he's saying that other people are lying, that his story is the only story and it's the only true story. That's not what I think his point is. His point is that he chose to market this information, and that's his business if he wants to do that. However, my point is this, is that we have a very fickle group, and we are all about the truther community. And I think most people that listen to your show that are involved in trying to understand all this information, we're all about getting the truth out there, period. So if it appears to the public or the audience that there's one person in particular that's trying to hoard the information or isolate the truth towards themselves, or if I'm wording it wrong, forgive me. But the point I'm trying to make is that could work to their advantage and to their disadvantage. And in this case with Mr. Good, at the moment, it could work to his advantage because they've got a fantastic movie coming out that I've seen and you've seen, Above Majestic, in a few days. And this could be a little bit of a kickstart on their marketing. But in the long run, if he chooses to take a hard stance against other people that discuss these programs, I think it could work against them. And that's my point.
Yeah, and you might be right. You might be right there. This is when you... okay, I'll talk more about a factual side of things. Let's talk about what a trademark is, okay? A trademark is something that a large company is going to use legally for them to protect the name of something and the use of something. You can't trademark a phrase or a commonly used thing. But let's specifically talk about what a trademark is. Just because you trademark something, right? I'm holding up a remote control, right, to the camera. It just happens to be what's here. Or I could grab a pen, right? Okay. Like Fade to Black, right? Okay, but I'm holding up a pen. And now you want to trademark the word pen. Or you know, your Coca-Cola or your Ford or your Verizon or whoever. Facebook, right? And you want to trademark those names. That doesn't mean, and I want the community to understand here, whoever it is, Gaia is trademarking something or Corey Good is trademarking something. That doesn't mean you are prevented from saying it. And I'll give you an example. Coca-Cola, Facebook, right? Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg was just in front of Congress. Facebook has got issues with information and data, and they just got hacked last week. Facebook is trademarked. Does that mean I can't say Facebook on this show? No, I just said Facebook 15 times. Does that mean that somebody can't go on CNN and say the word Facebook? No, of course not. Just because you're trademarking a name doesn't mean you own it. Anybody can talk about it. Anybody can say 20 and back. Anybody can come on this show and say 20 and back, 20 and back, 20 and back, 20 and back. You don't own it. What it prevents is somebody else going out and using that trademark, whatever it is, to create their own product or service using the same name, confusing the community. You can, you could, you might get challenged, but you also may get away with it. I could come out with 20 and back shoes. What if I wanted to? Okay, do you understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
What if I wanted to come out with a pair of tennis shoes and I want to run marathons with them, and these are 20 and back shoes? Well, I can. And that's the end. Or anybody else. What I'm trying to say is let's not all freak out. Corey wants to have a 20 and back product out there, and he wants to protect it, whatever it is. It's a comic book, or it's a documentary, or it's a book, or it's a TV series called 20 and back, or it's a cartoon, whatever. And he wants to protect that. That's up to him. And he has the right to do that. But that doesn't mean I can't say, or you can't, or somebody else can't come on this show or CNN or Coast to Coast and say 20 and back 100 times. Corey doesn't own it, and if we want to criticize Facebook, we can go and talk about Facebook on this show, and nobody's, that's not what a trademark does. Okay, it protects you for goods and services and products in the future. And that's fine, and he's entitled to that, or anybody else. We're talking about Corey specifically, but also Gaia was out there. I guess they stopped, but the community was in an uproar over the word disclosure. Well, if Gaia's got something that they own with disclosure in the name, and they want to protect it because somebody else may come out with it, but I understand that they dropped it. But it's also what the community was freaking out about. It's like, hey, wait a minute. You don't own disclosure. Well, no, you don't. And you are certainly free and clear to go and create and do whatever you want, or say disclosure, or you can say SSP or Secret Space Program or whatever. You're not prevented from saying it. For having conversations about it. That's not what it's about. He wants to protect his intellectual property for creation of said things in the future, and good for him for that. Absolutely. Yeah. And he has the power to do that. What isn't going to happen, and I can say this pretty confidently, nobody's getting sued. I don't think that's Corey's intention here, or Gaia's intention, or anybody else's intention. You can't go and sue 50 or 100 people willy-nilly. Nobody's got that kind of money. Corey doesn't have that kind of money. You know who's got that kind of money? Facebook. And Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Cuban. That's those kind of huge situations. That's what's going on. The Gaia is not going to, or Corey or anybody else isn't going to go out there and get involved in 50 lawsuits or 100 lawsuits for pointless reasons, because you're going to go broke. You can't afford it. And that's not the intention of what's going on here. It's actually the opposite of that. And there's another thing when it comes to trademarks. Let me, again, I'm not an attorney, but I've certainly got a lot of experience in this area. Okay, so let me be very clear here. When you are in the trademark game, there are two races that you get into with the trademark game, and I want the audience to understand every word that I am speaking right now. When you are in the trademark race, you're protecting your trademark to a certain point as you are making profits, and then you run into the danger of that trademark becoming so popular that now it is in the public domain. And then it can't be challenged anymore, so your trademark is now worthless. So before you get to that point, you want to protect it, because on the other side, your trademark is so popular and it becomes generic that everybody uses it, like Xerox. Okay? Xerox. It's not challenged anymore. Everybody uses it because it's the method of making copies, right? So you make copies. Everybody calls it a Xerox. So that's it. Xerox is you can't do that anymore. And Kleenex or other things out there that got so popular became generic. And so you want to protect it to the point where, but that's the danger, your product is so successful that now everybody uses it, and now it is worthless. In Corey's case, or in Gaia's case, or anybody else out there that is interested in trademarking certain words in our conspiracy UFO community, that nobody's going to use it. Nobody really cares about it. Who out there is going to go and use 20 and back or secret space program or SSP or whatever these words are that they're out there that the interest is in right now? The answer is nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big waste of money. It's a huge waste of money. It's a huge waste of money. You know, I whatever you're spending on anybody out there, anybody that is listening to me right now that is thinking about trademarking a name, why would you want to waste that money there? Because there's nobody that's really, you know, I was reading a bunch of trademark law over the last year. And why would you want to go and trademark something? Because, look, we have Fade to Black, we have the Game Changer Network, we have lots of different things here. So I'm talking to trademark attorneys, and this is going back, Eric, 5 years, right? 4 years, 3 years, where I'm talking to and then we're all telling me the same thing. Dude, don't waste your money. There's no reason to do it. There's no reason. And if you become so successful that these words and names that you are wanting to trademark and protect, if you actually become that successful, take that money that's your property and go on a vacation. Go build a house. Go build a library. Go and enjoy your success. But nobody cares. You know, and if somebody is going to come up and copy, let them. It just helps you in your marketing, and it's free marketing. And I always accepted that side of it, you know, and that's really the truth. That's where I come from. Who cares? You've got so many years on this planet, so many days on this planet, and you really want to, this was me. This was the advice that I was given from attorneys. I'll take your money, Jimmy. I will, but in good conscience, don't waste it. Don't waste it. Don't challenge anything. Don't even care. And if somebody is out there dancing around you, let them dance, you know. And that's my take on it. That's me. That's me. There you go.
Thank you. That was well said. Well said. I'm glad I wanted you to clear that up, because there, you know, people hear things, they read things, they don't do the research, they don't look into it, and then they start spreading information around that's not accurate, and then that's where it gets kind of sideways, and I didn't want to see that happen.
No, and I don't want, for the community, look, this is for the community, and I'm speaking on behalf right now of not only Corey and that side of things and his efforts. Good for him. I'm speaking on the side of Gaia, and what I want everybody to understand here with the chatter going around about trademarks, that doesn't mean that you, the members of this community, cannot say or use these terms. You can talk, you can say, you can go on stage, you can come on this show. Nobody is saying that you can't use these words. That's not what that's not what it's about. Not at all. You can go, nobody owns it. Okay? Now, if you want
I'm going to jump off, Jimmy, because I hear another guy on the call, but thanks for taking my call, brother.
Thank you. I'll talk to you.
All right, bye-bye.
There goes Eric right there. And I'm not sure. What do you mean? The NSA? What's he talking about? Let's go to area code 845. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Oh, hello, Mr. Church. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. Who's this?
This is Chris from New York. I've spoken to you a few times, Jimmy, and it's funny, you were just talking about Rob Halford. You talk about Arizona. Last time I spoke to you was a couple weeks ago about the incidents I had in Sedona and in Cave Creek, where I had some of my first experiences. So it's funny you were just talking about Arizona and heavy metal. Yeah. I love Halford, but I'm really an Iron Maiden fan. So, but up the irons, all that.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Iron Maiden is about as great as it gets. So
doesn't get any better for me. I know. It's great, man. I love it. I'm so glad they're all still rocking. It's great. So listen, I'll try to get right to it. I don't want to take up too much time. It's so funny, though. I was sitting here, and I was like, oh, nobody's talked about this yet. And then your last caller brought up exactly what I was going to talk about. I was like, oh, man, well, let me just throw in my 2 cents. That was great. You just summarized a lot of it. That was really interesting information that you offered. But I have a slightly different take on it. I'm a real admirer of Corey's, and I've said it on the show even at times in the past. Corey and David. I mean, the community is amazing. There's some really talented people, but when Corey hit the scene, something changed for me. His information really resonated with me. And, I didn't, I was scared to go hook, line, and sinker and just buy it all, but it just rang true to me for some reason. So I was really invested in this. And then I saw the Facebook post today about the trademark stuff. And I don't know, something just got under my skin. And you said, well, who cares about that? You can say it on the show. You can say it at conventions. You can say it. But okay, here's my thing. And this is where it affects me. I do a lot of stuff in the arts. And one of the things I do is I'm a writer. I've written plays and books and stuff. And I'm writing a book right now. What I like to think is historical fiction, but it's probably going to be classified as science fiction. And I use a lot of those terms in the book because in my mind, Corey didn't just come up with those. Those must be terms that those people in those programs use. To me, it's like saying the USAF or the USMC or something like that, SSP. So I'm having a hard time with that now because I'm thinking, holy God, I'm going to have to change this book now. I don't want to get into it with somebody like him. I really like the guy. But like this is something that I have a problem with because I'm thinking if this is all true and there's thousands of people in these programs and have been for decades on end, how can you trademark something that just exists or incidents like, if we're talking about like, we're recounting circumstances around the Kennedy assassination or something like that. Those are real events. I mean, did Corey try to trademark the LOC? I mean, is that what those people up there call it?
Right. Listen.
So I'm having a bit of a hard time.
I know. I don't want to cut. Hold on. I don't want to cut you off, but I don't want this to get lost, what you just said. Okay. I got a bunch of email about exactly what you're saying. And one of the points, you know what? I'll even keep you after the break so you can get your next thought out. I've got to hit a break here, but is this that I probably got a dozen emails today, and I almost copied and pasted them. I was going to send them over to Corey. Then I thought, you know what? Let's just let this go. The community is going to figure it out. But this is what everybody was commenting on. Look. You can't go and trademark U.S. Army. You can't go and trade. If these are government programs, then what are you doing that? Or is it all made up? And if it's all made up and you've trademarked stuff that you've made up and you want to safely trademark that, fine. But what you are saying is that it's not real and that this is something that you have created. I got like 12 emails today that made that point. And that's the danger zone of presenting it in the fashion that it was today on Facebook and in that. So, yeah, I totally, you saw what others have seen too. I didn't read it that way. But it was interesting that I got a ton of feedback bringing up the exact point that you're bringing up here. If it's government programs, how can you trademark a government program? And I didn't even think about it in that way. But you saw the same thing. Very interesting. I know. Okay, so what was your second point? And then I'll keep you on, and we'll pick up after the break.
Okay, brother, thanks. No, my second point was it was just tied into this stuff about Corey because, again, I want to stress, I don't want to come off like I'm down on the guy because I really do admire him and his courage to come out with this. But, his message, about love and forgiveness and everybody coming together and the ascendancy of the human race, that's paramount. That's the most important thing here. I know the guy's got to make a living. I get it.
Right.
And if we believe his story, he's in danger. He needs money. I'm in support of all that stuff, but it sours things and it muddies the waters when you get into this stuff about, money and people making money off this, especially if this stuff is real. And one of the things he trademarked was blue avians. There's my avian going crazy in the background. One of the things with blue avians, and I kind of said something on Facebook today because I said, we only know about them from Corey. I mean, other people have spoken about them, but only after Corey did it, unless I'm mistaken. That was the first time I ever heard of these things.
Right.
Now, what do they call themselves? Did he just make that up?
Right. Okay.
Or, hold
on. I got to take a break. I'm going to put you on hold.
Okay, brother.
I'm going to put you on hold. You stay right there. What was your name, Chris?
Thanks. Chris.
All right, Chris, stay right there. We'll pick up when we come back, okay? I don't like cutting anybody off. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Open lines all night long. It is Fader Night on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. And last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously. Go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official FADERNIGHT? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new paranormal radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the paranormal radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the paranormal radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. You guys are killing me on Twitter, man. That's some funny stuff. At JChurchRadio on Twitter. That's what you want to do, at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. You guys are killing me. You guys are absolutely killing me. Somebody just said, Jamie just said, starting their own show called Fade to White. And that is funny. So let's get back. Chris from New York, right?
Yep.
Okay. And right before the break, I didn't want to cut you off because I tend to be long-winded and I jumped in and cut you off. But I think all of the points that you were making were valid, and I didn't really look at it that way until I started to get the flood of emails that was coming in commenting about this. But then you brought up right before the break, and I want to get back to it, blue avians, right? And now you bring up a valid point. What do the blue avians call themselves? And you said something else, that your memory says that you don't remember blue avians being mentioned before Corey. And last year, maybe it was the year before, I had a panel that Corey was on and David, and I think it was William Henry, maybe Linda Moulton Howe. I've got to go back and think about that. But one of the points that I brought up in that panel, Chris, was the blue avians that were represented in Egyptian hieroglyphics, right? Mm-hmm. And could there be a connection there throughout history? And so, and William Henry had brought up blue avians throughout history, and I had him on Fade to Black. I want to say that was 2 years ago. It might have been last year, though. And I found that fascinating, how many times blue avians were represented in not only the Egyptian hieroglyphics, but Renaissance art and different examples of it in multiple cultures around. And I thought, and this is my take, doesn't it validate Corey's position? Right? Doesn't it help support that the blue avians have been visiting this planet for centuries? And there you go. Now, what do you think the blue avians call themselves?
Well, I don't know, but the thing, we could go on about that. That's fascinating too, and I love all the things you're referencing, and I've seen all that stuff. I watched Cosmic Disclosure multiple times, all this stuff. I'm really addicted to Corey and David's testimonies and how they talk about this stuff. But the bigger point is, like, want to talk about ancient Egypt and all that stuff. Those were still Homo sapiens sapiens. Those were still human beings, just because they were thousands of years ago. The blue avians, if these beings are real and they've been around for millions, maybe hundreds of millions of years, and they've ascended to the ninth density or whatever they are, what are they? And if they've chosen Corey, he keeps saying he's not one of those messianic figures and all that stuff, and that's great and that's fine, and he's got to say that because he's got to be very careful how he handles that kind of thing, or he'll be run out of town. But he still has been given this experience and brought this extraordinary testimony to the world. Now, regardless of whether or not he says it or not, he's been chosen. Now, he said more people will come out, and your last caller brought up all those other people, and Andrew Basiago and all those other people you mentioned too. That's great. But Corey's still among a select few, and he's very wildly popular now.
Sure.
And what's happening is it's sort of, there's a bit of a disingenuous feeling for me now, because I'm thinking, Jesus, we can't even, the guy's going to copyright these things, which this is going to change human history forever. We are all finished, not in a bad way, but our history will change forever when this is brought out to the wider world. And people are finally awakened to this. And we're going to haggle about trademarks and money. That's the thing that starts to bother me, is that I've been trying to sell this stuff and talk about it and get it in the public consciousness. My friends, I had to go through this whole, my family still looks at me sideways and going, oh man, what happened? He's so on this topic, he won't let it go. And that's how deeply it's affected me. And Jimmy, you know these guys well. This has affected a lot of people. So when we see things like this pop up on any medium, Facebook is just one of the most popular. As you see it pop up, you're going, oh man, really? Mm-hmm. This is what we're doing now? And I get it. The real world sucks, and we have to kind of go through it. And we got to figure out our path. And he's got kids and a family. And I look, man, power to him. I've even donated. But it's like I see that stuff and I'm going, we're getting off topic now. Now we're getting away from that message of forgiveness and becoming more loving and forgiving ourselves and all, and all those things that, really are kind of have been around for eons. He's just saying it in a different way. They're bringing it to the modern, vernacular, getting it out of the Bible and bringing it to, the way that people talk today. And that's a good thing. I think that's a positive thing. I'm not as hard on him as Richard Dolan is. Richard's pretty severe when you talk about whistleblowers, especially Corey. I get the feeling he really doesn't believe this guy. And that's fine. Richard's a brilliant person too. And I admire him and Linda and all of you guys. But, this is serious. Like, I know people, probably going to make fun of this and stuff, but this is very serious to a lot of people. People have dedicated their lives now they've changed. Their lives are changed. They're never going to be the same after experiencing Corey. So if it comes out that, like you talked about earlier, if it comes out to be a ruse, if this was a money-making scheme, this is going to devastate not just the community, just people's lives. This is going to send a ripple. You're not going to be able to trust people as easily anymore. So this could have a ripple effect that we might not be able to quantify at this time. It's a very dangerous time. Even though we're excited about it, and it's a good thing, and we have to think positive thoughts. Talk about numerology. I've been seeing 111 everywhere I go for about 2 weeks now. I'm trying to figure out why. 3 times today I saw it. I mean, there's all these things that I wouldn't have thought about before I started listening to Corey and David and all of everybody in this community. I so admire this community, but I feel like my life has changed for the better. So when I hear these things pop up, it slams the brakes on it for me. And it's not a good feeling because I'm in it, for this ascendancy. I'm in it for that ascension that David keeps talking about. And let's do this, man. Let's do it. We're at a pivotal point in human history. And to all of a sudden slam on the brakes and talk about trademarks and money, it just really goes, oh, great. It's just another charlatan, is it?
Yeah. And you bring up some really, really, really valid points, and I'm always concerned about the community and how they are going to react to this. And I think what's most important here is that you, Chris, and others out there, what brings them to this community is something very, very personal, something very emotional that has happened in their lives, whether it is seeing a craft in the sky or something strange in their room or some kind of orb. I had my green chrome balls, right? Everything has something that brings us to the community, and that emotional tie is enough. That's enough emotion to have invested here, not to go and have to think about something else. Like, for instance, a big trademark fight. It's just like they don't need they need to keep their eye on the prize, and they need to stay focused and bring, just like you just said. Now this comes into play, and now we have to discuss this. That's not what we're here for. We're not here for trademarks. And but the other part, and this is what's really interesting, is that anybody out there that is making a living off of this, spot on. Go and do it if you can. Right? It is it's expensive to live in this world. It's clothes, it's cars, it's food, sure. it's rent, your electric bill, your insurance, whatever it is, So we don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with somebody that can write a book once a month and crank out books and things, because we need all of that, and nobody's got a problem with that. And with Gaia and the programming that is there. If somebody is on Gaia, like you think about David Wilcock, who for 7 years cranked out wisdom teachings and cosmic disclosure and the things that he was doing over there. You know what? God bless him. That nobody had issues with that. Nobody had issues with Corey being over at Gaia and making a check, or Emery Smith, or Richard Dolan over at Gaia, or Linda Moulton Howe over at Gaia.
Oh, no, I appreciate that.
Right,
you're right.
Exactly.
I signed up for Gaia just because of them.
And anybody else that is making a video or has content on YouTube or is creating documentaries, or Dr. Stephen Greer and his movie Sirius, or his new movie Unacknowledged. Nobody's got issues with that. Well, some do, but the point is there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, right. But when you start dipping your toes into other areas, I think that is for the community.
Well, it's dipping the toes, but it's prohibiting people from expanding in that way too. Like that's the. I won't go on and on because I think we've covered it. But speaking of Trademark, I seem to remember this happening back in the '80s with a little known director, George Lucas. Remember the Reagan thing with Star Wars? He sued the Reagan administration over that trademark, and he lost. So, I mean, there's precedent here for some of that stuff, too. Now, that's on a grand scale. But still, he didn't like that being used, and they used it. They wanted it. They're like, hey, man, we're going to capitalize on that. So, I mean, I know there's some gray areas here, and I agree with everything you just said. I don't have anything against these guys making money. They don't have to make a living. This is the world we live in right now, the way it is. But it's just, I just am saddened sometimes when I'm defending these people all the time to friends and family in the world, and then this stuff. It's not that I'm not going to still defend them. I still admire these guys, and I think they're right on the money. I really hope this is all true, but it's just those little things that needle at you. You go, oh man, really? Like you're isolating this, so it's yours, and you're gonna, I know what you said. He probably won't go after people because it costs a lot of money to sue a bunch of people. But it's just the fact that he made a pretty grand stand today. Put it on 3 different Facebook pages. This big long thing, and it was like, wow, man. I didn't lose any respect for the guy. I still like him. I think it's great what he's doing. But man, it was like it gave me a hip check. I kind of went, wow, that rattled me a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to stop listening. But there's a piece of me. It saddens me because there's a piece of me that's going to be a little suspicious now.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I know. And I appreciate that, Chris. Let me ask you this. And if you're on hold, just stay right there. But this is a great phone call, and I'm enjoying the conversation. But Chris, how are you dealing with it? That's what I want to know. How are you dealing with it? And if you were going to speak to the community right now, which you are, what would you say to them about how you are dealing with it?
Dealing with what? Specifically?
Dealing with the emotions of this craziness. I don't want to suggest your answer, but there are ways that one can deal with it. One, just throw up your hands and go, well, you know what? I don't care. I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm not going to have it change my beliefs. Then there's there's extremes. But how are you, dealing with this?
Well, it's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. Because, this morning when I saw the Facebook post, I reacted emotionally. I wrote in on there. I saw that you went in there. You're like, first, I'm on there first. So I wrote my own post on there, and I got a couple people, lashing back at me, but I got a lot of thumbs up. So it was a very interesting response because sometimes I don't really go on Facebook. When I do, it's for a purpose, and I felt compelled to say something because it didn't resonate with me very well. Like I said, there's something about it that just threw me off kilter. And when you read those posts, I'm not the only one. Now, how am I dealing with that? I mean, that was my initial reaction. So I had kind of reacted, like I said, emotionally to seeing him do that on 3 different Facebook pages. And then I sort of, was thinking about it while I was on hold with your last caller. And I said, that's why it's so great you asked me this question. This isn't going to affect what I truly believe, because a lot of what he and other people, like all of those wonderful personalities that you mentioned who have brought all this information to us, there are things that resonate and ring true to me at my soul level. And I'm going to hold on to that because, first of all, let's just break it all down. Forget blue avians, forget every other little nuanced thing that you could pull out of this community. The fact, there's 2 big things for me here that nobody can change no matter what you say to me, no matter what you trademark, no matter how you kind of try to swindle us or you try to lead us down a path. There are 2 things for me that are ultimate reality for me in my world, that there is life out there, something else is out there, and that we have been manipulated by our own people and potentially something else. To me, those 2 things have happened. We've been duped. Okay, and we've been held back. Our progress has been held back for at least a century. That that really gets my blood going. You know, when Emery and David talk about stuff, it's like, oh, come on, yeah, get out there. And then the bigger truth is, how could anybody possibly believe that we are a freak of nature, that we're this anomaly in the universe, that we're the only sentient life there floating in this infinite spectrum? This just can't be. So I hold on to that. I have solace in that. And you know what? When I called you a couple of weeks ago, I'll hold on to that. I know what I saw. When I was in Sedona, Arizona, I know what I saw. Now, were my eyes playing tricks on me? Am I just in a great simulation like Elon Musk says? Maybe. But so what? At least there's something else going on out there. And I have to believe that that's what the ultimate goal is, truth and discovery.
Chris, well said, my friend. Well said, and there you go. All right? Now,
thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Now take a deep breath and enjoy your weekend.
Jimmy, one more thing.
Yes.
Go Beckley Ted.
I knew you were going there. Thank you, Chris. Have a great weekend.
You too, brother. Take care.
Right on. Great phone call. Let's, I'm sorry keeping everybody on hold. Let's go to area code 936. You're up next on Fade to Black.
Good God Almighty. What a show, Jimmy.
Who's calling?
Ramblin' Randy.
Hey, Ramblin' Randy. How are you, man?
Jimmy, you know, I listen to a lot of shows, and occasionally you'll run across a show like this one where the energy level is just to the point to where I'm kind of quivering. It's a great show, Jimmy. Chris just hit a home run right there.
It's important to, and I know that people need to vent and stuff, but the community for me is always first. Every decision that we make, Randy, and I don't care if it's the commercials, if it's the music, if it's the drops, if it's the guest, if it's my opening rants, or whatever we choose to, it's always about the community, the TV stuff that we've done. And when I swing over to Coast, it's always community first. That's every decision is just like, okay, all right, well, let's think about this, but what about the community and how, and that's how all of the decisions.
I'm with you.
That's it.
Let me throw this in here, Jimmy. This is real important, is that as I'm sitting here listening to this, and Jimmy, I've been following you a long time, and I have to tell you the truth. I didn't have a damn clue about this drama thing going on, and it doesn't really matter to me. At the end of the day, the value that these people, whatever they're bickering about, the true value that's going to be displayed by them is where the attention's going to flow, and that'll all work itself out. Fighting it with this trademark business and all that, and I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just going from past experience. I've been down this road. That's the other team winning with all that legal crap. But that here's something else that's really serious. We're sitting here talking about this. Y'all are my trilateral, and other people have theirs. And so I'll listen to certain shows, but guess what, Jimmy? There's probably 100 or 1,000 shows. Some talking about Kavanaugh, some talking about the wall, some talking about that caravan coming somewhere. And there's people on the other side of the world that have their own drama, that's going on that we have no clue what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that what's happening now is we're reaching this point in the process of the upright Homo sapiens sapien that we can look back put a little meat on the bone about this thing cycling every 25,000 whatever years they say, where everybody either gets so damn smart that they just blow up or something, or you ascend and you actually, I'm beginning to bite on that, Jimmy. I believe that if you understand enough of what's truly going on, the dynamic that we're being worked under or what we're accepting, Jimmy, I think we can create this whole thing. Jimmy, I'm going to hold to the fact that we're creating our own universe ourselves, and it's the only one that matters, but we entangle so closely. I'll follow you in this spaceship stuff. I got to see one. I'm down here at Oilfield. I want to see one. My God, if I see one, there ain't going to be no problem with getting the word out. I'm damn sure going to tell them, Jimmy, great show. Hey, I need to, before I leave, I believe that where we're going to evolve to is to where a person is recognized just standing there for the value that they are, and others will will support, for lack of a better term, that individual craft or whatever they do, and then the true essence of a person's being can sustain their life. I think that's where we're going, Jimmy. Let's talk.
Well, yeah, and what a wonderful world it would be, right? I mean, what a wonderful world. I mean, ultimately, I used to say, I don't say it as often as I used to, Randy, but that I walk around with flowers hanging out of my pockets, and I'm always thinking that no matter what, it's going to work out. That no matter what's going on,
you're on the sunrise side of the mountain,
man. You know, and that's the way that because I can't. There isn't another way to look at the world. What if what's the opposite of that? If that is not your goal, then what's the opposite? Well, I don't want to have those thoughts. You know,
Jimmy, I think we can pull this off. I believe that technology's come to the point where some people who have access to ears, I think it's going to happen like it's either your bumper music or George's or someone says that it's a revolution, it's on the radio, you know, that kind of deal. It is, Jimmy. It's the voice thing going on. And we picture you, you know, this bunker deal, I don't even watch the camera thing. I like the mental picture that I create in my own avatar for all this stuff that I'm putting energy into. And I believe, Jimmy, that if we are able to get people, Jimmy, I gladly give part of my value to your platform. I get my information there. And so the people like Chris, I would love to listen to Chris a lot. He has passion in there, man.
Right.
But the people that are talking vaccines and talking all that other stuff that they're passionate about too. Call me, Jimmy.
I'll talk to you, Randy. Behave and be well and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Oh, before I forget, Jimmy, in the same show, the lady up there in Canada, Bernie, won, and just not even worrying about it, lobbing a bag on her front seat and going over to you told him or something, not worried about the cops. That blows me away, Jimmy.
Randy, enjoy your weekend. This is Fade to Black. More of your calls are next.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com, dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black Thursday night, Fader night. Open lines all night long. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to everybody. Call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929, area code 718. You are up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, how are you, man?
Hey, man, how are you?
Adam, man, it's Bob, man. I'll tell you how I deal with Jimmy. I'm out of the matrix, out of the box, and I don't believe anything they say. I believe in my mind, my soul, my consciousness, and God, and that's it. And the reason I've changed like this is because I've listened to Coast. I listen to you and Art and everybody else and Corey and all the Randy Kramers and Andy Bugatti and everybody. And I know from a kid, when I was a kid, I loved Buck Rogers and everything else and all the Flash Gordons and everything and all the space. And I always knew, Jimmy, always, that there was something more.
That's all you need, Avalanche, Bob, and thank you for that. And enjoy, seriously, Bob, thank you for that. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, man, and go do something. Go make some music.
Yeah, man, things are really going good. My music's starting to get out there. And as I told you, Jim, I've had a lot of experiences. I could tell you a couple of strange things that have happened. When I was about 19 years old, I was driving my car upstate New York in Albany.
Yep.
And another car was coming right at us. Right, Jim? Right at us. And so help me God, that car went through.
Oh, really?
Went through my car.
You drove through wow.
The car went right through my car. It was coming right at me. And I'll never forget that.
And you know what? And now you are here today creating your music. And when
That's right, Jimmy, because I think my music's going to help change my car. And believe it or not, I think I got a Twitter from Carl McCarthy. I'm not sure whether it's him or somebody playing a joke, but said I liked, oh, yeah, Jimmy, you want to get a kick. Go to Facebook and check out my funny Halloween song. It's just for a joke, you know, but you might get a kick out of it. And Yeah, I've got very deep songs too, Jimmy. I got a song called "I'm Your World," the whole world talking to mankind. On my album, I got the song "The Day That Hate Died." I'm a little surprised it didn't go a little further than that, and because it really says something,
your stuff is great, Avalanche, and you just said it's getting out there. It's already out there. Enjoy the rest.
I know, Jimmy.
Enjoy the rest.
Thank you for everything you've done, and I just want to make the world better with my music. I believe that's what I'm supposed to. I believe I've got a lot of time, Jimmy. I'm a little older, but I don't believe that because I believe you're given that time that you're going to do everything. I look at this 100-year-old guy running in the marathon, 100-year-old young older running in the marathon. I got a new name, Jimmy. Young oldest. No more senior citizens. Come on, man. Take a look at Tony Bennett. Take a look at the people around you. Take a look at a 77-year-old dancer on America Has Talent. I have no idea why she didn't go further. She was fantastic.
Avalanche, you're the best, man.
And you are the best, Jimmy. You are the best.
Thank you,
rock,
Avalanche.
Man. You rock from top to bottom.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
You too, man. Thank you so much. Avalanche Bob. He says he's got a new Halloween song over on his Facebook page. Everybody go check that out. And let's go to area code 303. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Well, it's me, Jimmy, Linda.
Hi,
from
Linda.
Fort Collins.
Linda from Fort Collins. In the thick of it today. How are you, Linda?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I wanted to tell you some more of the stuff that my dad was into. I'm the one that lived on the base of Area 51 when I was a little kid.
Right.
And, that was a couple of weeks ago. I told you about that. When I was a teenager, he met a friend that ended up being a very good friend of his who learned a lot of ancient languages and so forth, and ended up being a professor of ancient studies at BYU. And he went over and dug up pyramids in Egypt. This friend of my father's was the one that found out that the Bent Pyramid and the Step Pyramid and one other one were all done by SETI. And he had done a lot of extensive research, and that's his thing now. My dad had always wanted to go to Egypt and dig up pyramids, but as a physicist, he couldn't do it. He just couldn't figure out how to make physics work with pyramids. So anyway, now they are with the muons things, and I can answer the questions that somebody was asking last week about muons coming into the pyramid. They come from every direction.
Right.
They're from black holes that have from stars that have gone nova. And they come through and at any angle, at any direction. And the ones that come through from the top down will show the chamber in the top of the pyramid. Well, there were a lot of interesting things that my dad's friend Wilfred dug up when he was there. And Wilfred was responsible for bringing the Ramses exhibit to the States. And he brought all kinds of interesting things that they used in their temples and so forth and put them on display. And he actually talked the Egyptian government into bringing Ramses, which was the first time they'd allowed the mummy to actually go from Egypt into any other country for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fascinating. And I remember sitting at the top of the stairs, and Mom and Dad and Wilfred would be on the sofa in the living room. They'd be sitting there talking to each other. I was listening to all the interesting things they talked about, the little things that they found and so forth. So it was a fascinating time for me. Dad was into a lot of interesting stuff. He's a very intelligent man. About that same time, he did a lot of equations that he took, and he went through and was trying to find out the nature of the universe.
What was Wilfred's last name?
Wilfred Griggs.
Oh, and he was friends with your dad.
Yeah. Well, my dad said he was his best friend, and that's strange because my dad never had friends. So, yeah. So, Wilfred Griggs was my dad's best friend.
And you used to hang. And I want to. You used to hang out with Wilfred. You remember him?
Oh wow! I used to babysit Wilfred's kids.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Mom and Dad would hang out, and we would learn things. They were religion teachers at the same institute. So, it was interesting. And my dad learned Coptic. Oh, by the way, I've got to plug my book. My book was taken from a lot of the ancient documents have the same story in it. And Wilfred said that it's in like at least 20 that he'd read. And it is called The Hymn of the Pearl, but my book is called The Dragon, the Man, and the Pearl. And it's about our sojourn on this earth and why we're here. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's available on Amazon, so if anybody wants to buy it, it's on Amazon. I just had to plug my book.
Sure.
But anyway, it's fascinating, and I learned an awful lot about Egyptian mythology and so forth. And like I said, Dad learned Coptic and Greek and Hebrew and all kinds of those along with Wilfred, and I was just truly amazed by what they did, the two of them.
Well,
but anyway,
that's pretty amazing. Okay. Where your life from Area 51 to Griggs. I mean, I remember Griggs from the Nag Hammadi scrolls. That's where I know his name from. I could be wrong, but I think that's
no, you're right. No, you're right.
Because he was doing those excavations. That was back, man. That was like in the 70s.
Yes.
Wow, it's pretty fascinating. Your life.
Yeah.
Your life. Griggs and the Nag Hammadi scrolls and what those meant throughout history. Is he still around? Is he still alive?
He is, but I have not been able to come in contact with him. He lives somewhere in Provo. I have no idea. If he's around, if anybody knows him, please let him know that Linda's trying to find him, Fred's daughter. So he would know who Fred is. And I need to explain to him, too, what happened to my dad. But anyway, Dad, no, we won't talk about that.
Well, it says here that Griggs is he's a professor at Brigham Young University right now. So you can
right now.
Yeah, so in Utah. So
that's
could,
out of date. He retired.
Okay, well this is Wikipedia. It says right here, Wilfred Griggs is a professor of ancient scripture at Brigham Young University.
Yep. And he is very good at what he does. Back when I knew him, when I was babysitting his kids, he learned Greek in 6 weeks to go back and argue with a religion professor at Berkeley about it, which I thought was fascinating. Greek, 10,000 words of Greek in 6 weeks. That's like over the top smart.
Now, you said, before I let you go, you mentioned that, did Griggs say that he found additional chambers at the Great Pyramid? Did I catch you right?
No, he did not. No, he's the one that found out that the 3 pyramids, the bent pyramid, the step pyramid, and one other one that the name escapes me right at the moment, were all built by one individual, Seti the First.
Okay.
And he found that out. And as a matter of fact, when he went back to Oxford to present his findings and everything, they gave him a standing ovation when he walked in to give his little talk that he was going to give.
So Seti built the Dozer Pyramid, the Red Pyramid, the Bent Pyramid, the Step Pyramid. That was all done by Seti the First?
I believe so, yeah. it was an amazing thing, and whether people put his name on it or not, Wilfred found Seti's name on them. That was the big thing.
That would change history.
He did a lot of digging around. Yeah, Wilfred got into, like, digging in the earth. He actually dug up several Christian burial grounds in Egypt, and he dug up several pyramids in southern Egypt. So it was really, really fascinating, the things that he did.
Thank you so much, Linda. Behave and be well, and have a great rest of your weekend. I know that we are.
All right. Well, you too.
Have
a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. Area code 937. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. It's Tom from Dayton, Ohio.
Hey, Tom from Dayton, Ohio. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for asking, man. Your show is off the hook tonight.
Yeah,
Great
man.
Callers.
It's Thursday night. It's the reason why we do the entire week on the show.
It is quite amazing. Hey, so I just got a couple comments, if you allow me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. You started out the show talking about something big is going to happen. Are you tempting us there? What's going on? Do you got some inside information about somebody who is in our field that are just kind of on the payroll of the CIA or something like that? Is that what's going on?
I would love it if it was that simple. Yeah, that would be cool. Let me ask you, when as a member of this community, what is it that you focus on? Do you focus on, do you let the drama, or like I just posted up Corey's post from yesterday, so it's up there on Twitter, and if anybody wants to go and check it out, they can. Do you care about any of that? I mean, what do you focus on?
I try to stay out of the drama because I just, I do have a comment about the Corey thing and the Gaia thing, the trademark thing.
Sure. What is it? What is it?
What you started out the show, and I figured you were going to talk about this tonight, but what you started out with was, we've got another, I don't know, I guess mole that's out here putting out false information or disinformation. And that show you had when what was it? Richard Doty called in. Was that 3-4 months ago? Mm-hmm. This surprise call. He said that there was 2 people that you would know. He was speaking to you, that you would know in the community out there, basically on somebody's payroll. And then you started out the show this way, and I thought, oh well, Jimmy's got some inside information. Is he going to spill it? And then you didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So what I was alluding to is that there is definitely some disruption that is going on in the community between some people out there. And could it be external? Could it be somebody that is trying to cause these issues? Is it somebody else? Look, I want to be clear here. I don't know. I've been sent a lot of emails, and this goes back even 2 years, where I was sent these things, and Jimmy, be careful. We're going to come after you. We're going to shut you down if you continue supporting this person or continues having these people on your show. Then we're going to come out and we're going to And I made jokes about it. I don't care. Nobody is going to censor me or tell me what to do or who to have on as guest. And the second I get an email from somebody that says, you know what, man, don't have this person on. Don't do it again. You know what I do? I book that person again. Right? Nobody's going to tell me what to do. So there's that. And then these things that have been going on for the last 3 months, I don't know who is the guilty party here. But it is going to surface, and that is my point. My point is, I don't know. I don't know who it is, but that when it does get disclosed, that's when reputations are going to be run into the ground. My point that I want to make to everybody, that it's going to be painful. I think we're all going to be a little bit surprised, or a lot surprised. Depends on where you are in your standing of everybody. But we're going to move on. And a year from now, whoever's reputation gets run into the ground, we're going to move on. And it's going to be forgotten. It's going to be forgotten. Just like, and I've said it, just like Bill Moore. Bill Moore was as big as it got ever in this community. The biggest. Okay, the biggest. And there's a big chunk of this community today, newer generations, they don't even know who Bill Moore is. And it's a crazy thought. Could we go through it again? Yes. And that is my point. You bring up Richard Doty. And you know who knows about Richard Doty? The old schoolers here. Yeah. But there are a lot of UFO fans, Ancient Aliens and newer, the last 10 years, that they don't know who Richard Doty is. They don't know. You and I are talking about him. They don't have a clue. And isn't that interesting? And could we go through that again?
It could happen. Amen, brother. I agree with you. Hey, so there's one last comment I want to make on this Corey Good thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been posting a lot on Stellar, and I try to avoid anything that is, this side or that side. And there are some really big anti-Corey Good people out there, and they have been lighting it up lately on Stellar. Mm-hmm. And I just, I owe Corey and David just like I believe it was Chris that called in that said the same thing. It's like when I heard their story, it just hit me, and it woke me up. I mean, I've always been interested in this stuff, but when I heard that, I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention. You got me. What's going on? Talk to me. Mm-hmm. Couldn't get enough. So this trademark thing come out, and it first started out with Gaia with the disclosure thing, and then Dr. Greer got involved because that's his baby. He started that back in 90s, Mm-hmm. And so he made a comment about that, and I guess Gaia backed off, and then this thing with Corey Good trademarking this stuff, and I thought my first thought, and I've never said it anywhere, so I'll just say it here, was it really sounds like what he's doing, and he didn't even say this, but it sounds like what he was doing was preemptive, because he knows that these people are going to come after him and his information to discredit it. And if they're going to do, if you do not have your, and you know better than I do, if you do not have your information trademarked, what if the CIA all of a sudden sponsors some other radio host? They give him a contract, and they say, you're going to call it Fade to Black.
Okay, Tom, I got to take a break. Stay right there. I'm going to put you on hold, okay? I got to do it, man. I got to do it. So just stay right there. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night, Fader night. So that happened twice tonight. We're right in the middle of a phone call. I do have to take that network break. So we're going to do that now. Tom, you stay right there. We'll pick up when we come back. It's Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fader night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. More with Tom and your phone calls when we come back. Stay with us.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy Jimmy Church on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Man, Twitter. I love Twitter. At JChurchRadio. Follow me over there. It's great. You guys are, oh man. You know, I could literally, well, we did it once. We did a whole program with Twitter. And that was a fun night, man. I should go back and visit that again, where it's just me and Twitter, because it's just funny. It is just absolutely funny. Let's Tom, thank you for hanging in there. So you're in Twitter too, right?
Oh yeah, man. I've been here with you, bub.
Okay, so you are Aired?
Yep.
That's you?
Yep, Aired Tweets.
That's your face? I'm looking at you now.
You got me, man.
Man. Check you out. All right. Everybody go follow Aired Tweets. AIRED_tweets. Aired on Twitter. There you go. All right. I did it, man.
Yeah, and Twitter's off the hook tonight, man. Wendy just basically called my shot here, but what I was rambling on right before the break there was, if the man set up a faux Jimmy and said, hey, we're going to bankroll you and you're going to name your show Fade to Black, we've already got the trademark. You would have to change your name. And you would survive because, hell, we'd follow you anywhere, bub. But, that would be a blow. And so do you think, this is the first thing I thought of when I heard that Corey was doing that. He's got a novel coming out. He's got comic books coming out. He's got movies coming out. What happens if he gets out there and this stuff is successful and he doesn't have a trademark, right? What happens if, they contract Marvel or DC Comics and say, hey, man, put out a comic series and use these keywords, the Blue Avians, SSP. If they contracted somebody to do that, they put it out, they trademark it, now he's SOL.
He's SOL for making money, but they don't own his story.
But as soon as he goes out, and if he goes to how would that play out? He can't make another comic book. I don't know what his comic book's going to be called, but he couldn't make another comic book with like the Blue Avians. He couldn't have them as a cast because now it's trademarked by somebody else.
Right.
So that's the first thing I thought, because that is the way that they would. That seems like something that they would do. So my natural thought was, okay, he is doing it preemptive. And actually, at first, I thought it was because of Gaia. But if you take it even a step further,
right?
Somebody else could do that to him.
Tom, you're absolutely right, 100% correct, and that is a really, really great point. Now, this is where I become devil's advocate. All right, now let me address it. If that happened, right? Let's say it happened, and somebody comes in and scoops the story. That would make Corey Good or anybody else the most famous dude on the planet. If that happened, I would say go for it. It reminds me of the advice that I got from a trademark attorney a few years ago, where they said to me, well, so what? So what? Let them do it. If you are first, and in Corey's case, if he's first and somebody comes in and grabs it, or somebody started another show called Fade to Black, look, Metallica had a song called Fade to Black, a big song, right? Do they own Fade to Black? Could they come after us for, it's a crazy thought. If somebody else came out with it, if somebody else came out with a show, Tom, called Fade to Black right now, I wouldn't go after them. Rita's probably like, but you know what? I don't care. Does it change what we do? Does it change our history? Does it change the 900 or 1,000 programs that we've done, or all of the interviews, or anything? No. I don't know if I would really care.
Couldn't they hit you with? You've got Fade to Black on YouTube, so they copyright it after you've got those over 900 shows on YouTube,
right?
And then they go and file claims against you because now they have the copyright. You would survive, but it's not going to be fun.
what the issue only surfaces if somebody sues somebody and they go to court. But, that's the only thing here. So would it even survive in court, or why would, in other words, if somebody came along and started a show called Fade to Black and then I would challenge it, right? Or somebody would challenge me and it would go in front of a judge and maybe even a jury, and they would say, okay, who came first? Who did what? Why does this matter? Do you care? Does this other person care? What's the real issue here? And so when it comes to, trademark and trademarking terms, if they're in this is such a strange thing that this community is forced into contemplating and thinking about. If the testimony and statements of Corey are real, right? And I don't know if they are. I don't even know if Corey knows if they're real. But and I'll explain that in a second. But if that is indeed the case, and we're talking about a secret space fleet under the command of the Navy, where there are tens of thousands of enlisted men and women in this program, then they're going to come forward eventually, and they're going to speak eventually, and they're going to talk about a 20 and back eventually, and they are going to have their own versions of this eventually. And if this all comes forward, then why is their statements of their experiences less or more valid than somebody like Corey?
I'm with you, man.
You don't.
I'm with you on that. But the thing is just because Corey would do the right thing. He wouldn't attack anybody. He wouldn't sue anybody unless I've got him all wrong. But flip the script. Wouldn't they do that to him to shut him up?
But
and that's all I'm thinking.
Well, I would say, I know. My advice in a situation like that, if I was sitting around the table and we were discussing this, I would say, cool. All it does is validate your statements. That's all it does. It strengthens your testimony. That's all it does. And it turns it into a worldwide conversation. That's my opinion. I would think that you would want as many people to come forward with their own experiences. Nobody owns experiences. You can't say. I've said this a lot, Tom, on this show. I've seen strange things. I've it's some crazy stuff. And because of the things that I have witnessed, when somebody else comes on this show, a phone call, right, where somebody comes on and says, "Hey, there's something strange appeared in my room. I was taken aboard a ship, or I have an abduction experience." I have to listen. And I have to. Their experience is just as valid as mine. I know that what I went through. How can I say or question somebody else? No, it's not up to me. It's up to the community to listen to everybody. And I don't care who it is, whether it's Corey or it's Emery or it's David Wilcock or it's Andrew Bishago or it's Randy Kramer or and I could go, you know what I mean? Or. You know, how can we sit here and say that we believe one and we don't believe? That's not what this community is about. This community is about freedom of thought, freedom of expression. Bring your experiences forward. Let's hear what you have to say. We are not here to censor anybody, you know, and because somebody like Randy Kramer comes forward, or Corey or Andrew Bishago, who's talking about time travel, and then somebody else is talking about time travel, okay. We want to hear from them. What if somebody's not going to come forward now because now they are afraid of trademarks? What? So now they're not going to speak? That's a dangerous zone to go into. I don't think it's cool, you know. And so I don't think. And Tom, I want to hear from you. So I don't think that is Corey's intention. I don't
either.
I don't think it's Corey's intention. So let's everybody relax. I don't think Corey is trying to keep people from coming forward, you know, and to discourage people from sharing their experiences. I don't think that's Corey's intention. I could be wrong. But I don't think that's his intention. Or a guy, making an attempt to trademark disclosure. So now suddenly they own that and nobody else. I don't think that's Gaia's intention. Again, I could be wrong. You know, I'm not an attorney for Gaia. I'm not an attorney for Corey or anybody else out there. You know, I don't represent them, but I don't think we're trying to discourage people from coming forward.
Yeah, no, Jimmy, we're on the same page on all that. It's just I wanted to put that thought out there because that is the first thing. When I read that, there on Stellar, I can't remember who posted it. When I read that, it was actually a couple days ago. That was my first thought. I was like, he is basically calling their shot, you know. That is, okay, you're going to try this? Nah, I'm already here. Now, I could be wrong. But that is what I thought when I saw that's what he was doing. And it was actually originally I thought it was because, look, he was on Gaia, and we, you know, the community that follows David and Corey and Emery all know what went down between David and Gaia. And so Gaia got some bad press and lost, I would say, probably quite a few subscribers there. But when they said, it was like they got 1, 2, 3 punched, man. You know, David leaving the Gaia employee movement, employees against Gaia, whatever that was, and then you got the whole Patty Greer thing with the crop circles, all that stuff that was going against Gaia, and then Corey comes out and he's starting to do what Gaia is doing, or what Gaia was trying to do with this trademark stuff. And I thought, you know, he's just trying to prevent Gaia from trademarking his testimony that he put on the air on Gaia originally. And those are great, great shows. I mean, whatever you think about Gaia, that information that David Emery and Corey put out on Gaia is absolutely amazing. And it's worth a subscription just to watch that if you haven't done it. Mm-hmm. But you know, he may, all I was thinking was he saw where they were going and he tried to put his foot forward before they did. That's my thought, and everything else that everybody said is completely valid, and you know, I would believe it too, but you know, that's where I'm at, man, and I appreciate you letting me get that out there, bud.
Thank you so much, Tom, and you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too, man, and get that yard work done.
Go Beckley Tepe. Thank you, Tom. I'll talk to you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Great phone call. Let's keep it going. Area code 214. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Turn me down in the background.
Jimmy, is it me?
Yes.
Oh, great. So I've got a great point to add to the last conversation you had about Corey and the copyright and all that good stuff.
What's your name?
This is Jake from Dallas. We spoke a couple weeks ago about Q, and we can continue that conversation too.
Okay, well, we're at the end of the show, so let's stay on Corey.
Yeah, so Corey put out a really long-winded statement on Facebook recently to try and explain his point of view on the copyright stuff, and just to shorten it down and make it really simple.
I think it's trademark, though. It's trademark stuff, not copyright.
Right, yeah, sorry, trademark, right. He trademarked 20 and back and a couple other phrases. So what he was really trying to do to really shorten his long-winded response or explanation was to prevent Hollywood from making a bunch of fiction and a bunch of monkey stuff to make it look like, to make it look fake, basically. He was trying to keep Hollywood from making a bunch of fake movies about the same stuff and then trying to make it all look, discredit the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really simple way to explain why he did it, I think. And, he had a Facebook post, I believe it was earlier today, that was very, very long, and basically that was the point he was trying to make, though, was to keep Hollywood out of the truth world.
But okay, that's fine. Is that the way that you took? What you're saying is through. You said long-winded like 3 times. It is a pretty long post. I'm scrolling through it right here. I don't know how many words, but it's probably 300, 400, 500 words. I think Roger Richards had a statement in here too as well. But you're saying that through all of this, to break this down was that he is trying to keep Hollywood from changing the narrative to damage what is what he's trying to put out there. That's what you're saying. You don't think it's directed at the community.
Right, that's exactly what's going on there. Because the next thing that's going to come is efforts to discredit everything he's put out there in the form of fictional movies and stuff. And that's also, it's great fodder for a good sci-fi movie. I mean, I would love to see a sci-fi movie based on Corey Goode stuff. Everybody would, but it would serve to only discredit everything he said. So, it makes perfect sense for him to go ahead and do that. And I was livid. When I first heard about Corey Goode trademarking this stuff, I was livid. I didn't understand at all. And then I read his response, and it makes perfect sense. And now I'm at peace with the decision that he made.
There you go. And what was your name again? I'm sorry about that. Oh, Jake.
Yeah, this is Jake from Dallas. We spoke a couple weeks ago about Q, and I'm going to call up later, and we'll talk about Q again more, because he actually answered our discussion a couple weeks ago.
Oh, Q was listening?
I believe Q was listening, because a couple days after we spoke and I said my patience was running out, he issued a direct statement that said, look, we need to have more patience, and here's why. And he laid out a 200-point long-winded post about how, this is what's happening and this is why it's taking a long time. It's fantastic, actually.
It's possible Q could be listening to this show. That's possible. Wouldn't that be interesting? Q, if I was going to say Q, post F2B in one of your posts and just let us know if you're listening. But you know what? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't even. But so you're at peace, though. You feel good. There's no reason to go and jump off a bridge. The Sphere being alliance and Corey's moving forward in a positive fashion, and you're okay with it.
Yeah, I'm 100% okay with it at this point.
All right.
And yeah, like I said before, I was really upset at first, but now I understand. It makes perfect sense.
My take again, I could be wrong, but I think that you want to protect the product and stuff that you are putting out now and possibly in the future. I don't think that the intention is to silence everybody and that you can't ever say that. I think that's where the community is a little bit freaked out. What do you mean? I can't sit in a bar and say blue avions, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I think that's silly. And Jason Rice is the guy to watch right now. You just interviewed him recently. Mm-hmm. I'm on the fence about whether or not he's for real, but if Corey goes after Jason Rice, then we need to start really asking questions.
Well,
but I think
if that happens, then the community is going to be very, very vocal. But let's not forget when Corey first started talking and was that everybody was raising those same red flags back then. So here we are 2 years later, and Corey has had the opportunity to speak and come forward and disclose and quote unquote whistleblow. And that's what it takes. It takes time. Jason has only had one radio show, this one here. He's done a couple of episodes over on Gaia. Just like anything else, like Tom DeLonge and To the Stars, it takes time. Trust happens over time. It's never. Trust is not a privilege. It's a right, and that is something that happens over time. It's not given to you. It's just one of those things. Well, hey Jake, thank you for that. I've got to get out of here, man, and you're the last call of the night, and it was a great one. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. It was good to get in.
I'll talk to you. We'll see you on Monday.
Yep, sounds good.
Have a great weekend. And with that, we're wrapping another Thursday night here on Fade to Black. And I just want to say with everybody, with this trademark stuff, I don't think that the intention from Gaia or from Corey or anybody else, it sends the wrong message in that we are. So many, not we, but so many in the community are assuming that nobody else can say these words and nobody else can use them and nobody else can. That's not the case. That is not the intention, and that's not what Trademark is there for. Okay, so there you go. We're free to say and do whatever we want. It's about product, and it's about the creation of that product. Well, he wants to protect that, he can. But that doesn't mean nobody can say it. All right. This has been Fade to Black. Great phone calls tonight. And I'll say it again. Twitter was off the hook. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. I'm not over at Coast this weekend. I've got the weekend off. I've got to do yard work. I got to do stuff over at the house. We had a huge windstorm this week. So I've got to go and do repairs and get all of that stuff done. But I get to have a nice, fun weekend with my family. And I'm going to do that, and you do the same. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hill J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster, Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. You know what I'm doing right now? It's Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. I hope that's trademarked. You guys have a great weekend. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.